Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Karma Cast, episode 4. And just to let you know, we're now on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and a bunch of other platforms. So please check us out. Leave a review if you like it. Even if you don't like it, you can leave a review. So today I have with me somebody I had to twist his arm. Seriously, honest to God, I had to twist his arm to get him here because he did not want to do this. But this is my mentor, my father. He's been in the business of multifamily real estate for 40 years. This year will be 41.
Yeah, going to be 41 this year.
So before we get into the multifamily real estate, I want to go back a little bit in your history and just talk about you grew up in India.
I came to this country.
No, when you grew up in India, did you grow up in like a city or a village?
When I came,
गांव में थे या शहर में रहते थे जब बचपन में?
Yeah, I was grown up in village, and I have my high school education in the city, but you still live in the village. And after the college, I went to city in Saharanpur.
And what was the family status like? Did you guys have money? Did you have money for college?
No, I had to get a scholarship to go to college.
And which school did you go to?
I went to JV Jain Inter College in Saharanpur.
And major?
And because I was a high school first class, so they gave me free tuition. So that's why I got it.
And what was your area of study?
I just study regularly for 2 years, college. They call science, math, and, chemistry, physics, and English.
What was your major, area of study?
Yeah, it is science. Science was my major. And I have studied, these are the 3
What about
subjects.
engineering?
I like to go to the engineering, so then for the engineers, you have to have 3 subjects very strong. Science, physics, chemistry, and math. So if you have a good marks, then you can get admission in the engineering college.
So then you went to engineering college after that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that.
So
and you completed school as what type of engineer?
Yeah, I completed the college and then went to the engineering college as a mechanical engineer. Mm-hmm. So I studied there 3 years, and after that I got a job from the college. So directly the company hired me, 2-year training, and that training was very successful. And that helped me to establish in this country.
What was different about your college experience than what most people experience in college? You learned something. I think your college was a lot about practical, like being the practical side of things, not just theory.
No, the college, mostly they give you theory. The practical you get only in the engineering when you go for training.
Okay.
So for 2 years for training, and then we learn more practical, how to use those theory in your practical. That's why I became practical engineer that time.
And then how did you come to U.S.?
These U.S. need the engineers at that time, 1969. And we applied for that. The Labor Department approved our immigration as a professional visa to this country. So that's why we came, about 200 students from our company. So we got the approval, and that's why we came.
So you came here, you were engineer initially?
Came as an engineer, but it was difficult to get a job at that time because it was a language problem. Second thing, we didn't have American experience. So we could not get a job in engineering that time. But we practically, we learned how to work on a machine. So I started as a machinist job in the factory. Yeah.
Was that minimum wage or?
No, this was almost minimum wage, but then I had jumped within 6 months, so I got a union job.
And when you applied as a machinist, did you tell them you were Mechanical engineer?
Yes, I told them, but the reason, see, they say you don't have experience, then you're going to still. I say, yes, I can easily learn and I can do the job. So the foreman gave me chance to work as a machinist.
But I remember one time you told me that you had to lie and didn't tell them your qualifications in order, you had to say you were a high school graduate. Was that somewhere else?
Yeah, that was another problem because the reason is when we send as a lot of experience as engineers, so people don't hire you, you're overqualified for the job. So for those kind of job as a machinist or training, yes, you have to tell them, yes, I can do the job, that's the reason you can say that we lie at that time to get a job, there.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? Fast forward a little bit, got into business.
Yeah, then what happened in 1973, I got an engineer job. And because there was oil embargo at that time, and they wanted engineers so that they wanted to start a nuclear power plant. And that's why there was a lot of job opening for the engineers. So that's why we got open the door for engineers and we got the job. But when that happened after 2 years, they start canceling those projects because it was too expensive and it takes 10-year minimum to do the one project. Mm-hmm. So that's why then we saw a lot of layoff happen in our industry. So we lost the job then. That's why we started looking. My friend suggested me, why don't you go to the business? And I said, oh, I don't have money that I know. So he said, well, maybe we can go join together and try to this one. And then we look at a franchise business.
But also, when he asked you to start a business, didn't you like first reject his offer by saying my father never was good in business?
Yes, I explain him that doesn't have a business experience. I am not from business gene, right? Because so my father doesn't have.
You weren't interested initially when he talked about business.
Yeah,
right?
I was only working person,
Okay. And then you got into the first business was 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
In
yes,
1970.
75. Yeah, and I left 77. Mm.
So 2 years, and that business taught you the business.
Then I learned concepts. From there that what is the business to serve the other people, and do the job honestly, effectively, and that you can grow in that business. So that's why I learned the business attitude from there.
Right.
What is the business does.
And then from there you went to what business after 7-Eleven?
77, then we bought Emblem Markets.
Supermarket, little convenient supermarket, right?
And then my wife, your mom says, no, it is not a right business for you. You should go back to job. So I then went back to job in 79 again. Mm-hmm. And then the same thing happened when we went to job. And somebody inspired me, the apartment business is the best business. I think you should go in it. And that struck me, so I started looking the property.
What happened? How'd you get the inspiration? What happened?
My friend, Madan Gopal, he was in apartment business. He owned the business, some triple X.
Triplex, yes.
And he inspired me that this is the best business, that other people paying you a mortgage, and you will become rich in that kind. And I said, no, I don't want to do this one. I like to have a complex where people can take care of this one.
Right.
And that's the reason we started looking investment property, and I find it in 79.
So how long did it take you to find an investment property from the time you started looking?
It takes me about 6 months.
Okay, so for 6 months you were steady looking?
Yes.
And what was your source of looking? The newspaper?
There was a Sunday newspaper used to come in investment property. That's why I used to look at all the time.
Okay.
And I seen the property, and I called the broker. He showed me, and I asked him how you put an offer that time, And that guy explained me, this is investment, how you going to do this. And I understand the concept. So I made an offer, and he accepted that offer. That became first property.
So the broker kind of took you by the hand and showed you what to do and how to make the offer, and
Yes,
And he
gave
guided
me
you.
the first lesson.
he also guided you about the owner financing?
Yes, because he said it was too difficult because you are new in this business. You cannot get a mortgage from that.
Right.
So you have to get an owner financing. You need a minimum 20% down, and he's the one explained me how to get a creative financing.
Right.
Assume the first loan and second get from the owner, and this is the way you can get the deal. Yeah. And that's why I got a first deal.
So your first deal was how many apartments, the first complex?
52 units, but I
You added two.
built the 2 unit more.
Right. And how much was that for?
$495.
$495,000.
Yeah.
And so you put 20% down?
Yes.
And the 20% you borrowed, and
No,
how
I
did you
have made a partners, and my friend became 25% partner, so he brought 30,000, and I, got the loan from the other people, so I, collected about 90,000. So that's why we got a deal, closing deal for 90.
Now, how'd you get the owner to believe in you? You're a guy, you just came from nowhere, and you don't have any experience, and the owner had a helicopter or something? What did he have at that time?
The guy was so rich, and he has his own helicopter. He used to come to Westchester, and the super used to drive him to the complex. And he wants to get rid of because he wants to buy the property in Atlantic City and all over. So he said, he was desperate to sell it.
Okay, so he's motivated.
He became motivated, so it was a good deal for me to get it.
So that first property showed you the basics. You learned the basics. You learned as you went.
Yes.
You didn't read. Did you read any books or anything like that about real estate or multifamily or apartments? Or?
No. After buying, I went to got a real estate license, and I went to the books. I learned what is the investment. So I learned after getting into the business.
So, do you think there was a practical use of getting the real estate license for what you were doing?
Yes, it was practical to know the brokers and also how to do diligence study on this. That has a good thing that they taught me how to appraise the property.
Okay.
And that I learned from the real estate license.
Oh, okay.
The course.
So they told you the legalics also of like doing the deal, the contracts, all the legal.
Yeah, they explain everything, how to make a contract, how to sign the lease, how to sign the contract, and how to do the closing. Everything they explain on that, the course.
So that's good. You got a lot of the basic keys then from that real estate course. I never realized that.
Yeah. And they gave me 3 approaches how to appraise the property, 3 basic steps.
Okay, and what was that?
That was one is called income approach.
Okay.
One is a cost approach. And one is comps. Compare the property sold in neighborhood for the last maybe 2 years, 3 years. So this way you can compare those.
So the income is looking at the NOI.
NOI, that's correct.
What's the cost approach?
Cost approach, if you build the property, how much will it cost you?
Right. Cost basis to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And then comps are very familiar.
Right.
Now, in real estate, when you look at a property, multifamily, do you look at the comps? Nowadays, if you buy like a multifamily, are you looking at comps, or you just what approach do you mostly use when you analyze a deal?
We look at the property. Yes, we look at the neighborhood. We look at what are the properties sold in that neighborhood, what price they're going in. So that give us an idea, what price this neighborhood can really best price for this. So you come definitely help, but income approach is also helps to visualize the price of the property.
So you went from 52 units in what year? 1979?
Right, July 79. Right.
1979. And today you have, let's say, 4,500 units
Yeah,
total.
about four.
Total.
Yeah.
So you've grown from, and that's in 40 years.
Yeah, almost we have increased, if you look at our portfolio, about 100 units per year, average.
Right. And that's pretty much, you have done like one deal a year pretty much on a basis.
Yeah.
Regularly. And so one of the things that you like to best to do is you really like to analyze the deals. Is that correct?
I like that, yes.
You think
that's my favorite.
If I was going to ask you, what's your specialty in real estate? What do you specialize in? What do you think your best talent is in real estate? In what you do, what do you think?
See, the first thing is I can appraise the property looking at the numbers. I can do the due diligence study, and also I can see how much money this need a capital improvement in the future for
Right.
this property. And what going to be the vision of the property, that is also I look into that. So where we stand is and we're going to be 10 years from today, this property can worth.
And you've always done like a 15-year mortgage. You did that from the beginning, or that's something you started later on, the 15-year self-liquidating?
The 15 years, what I learned, because it gives you good equity. Most of the property, you don't hold more than 15 years. So I feel you can easily refinance and then go use their money somewhere else. But there's some people like 30-year loan, and every 10 years they are refinancing. The market can change sometime. It helps and sometimes it hurts now. So
Well, where did you come across that approach? Because I'm a lot of people, I'm telling them they seem like that's like a rare approach. Not a lot of people are doing that. They're doing the opposite.
You see why they are not doing it? Because they don't have a capital put down money. And I used to put a 30% down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are 30% down, you need at least minimum 30%. Now you've got sometimes 40% now. The interest rate is so low.
Right.
And if you want a 15-year loan, they want more down money. The bank wants more security.
Right.
But if you want 30-year loan, yes, they can go with the 20% down. But I don't like 30 years because it's look like you only pay the interest. You don't really make much equity on that.
Right.
That's why I like a 15-year loan, 1550.
So the first loan you did in Downingtown, how many years was that with the owner financing the Downingtown property?
That was first was a assumable loan, and the second loan was
okay.
I can pay off any time after 5 years.
Okay.
No, the guys owner financing.
And the assumable loan was for how many years left? Do you remember?
Assumable loan was, I think, it's already with the property. It was about 25-year loan. I don't remember exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you start doing the 15-year mortgage on the second deal?
Yeah, we in 82.
So after 3 years, you did the second deal.
Yes, I bought the property in
Westchester,
Brandywine. And that also was owner financing.
Okay.
And that's creative financing. I assumed the first one. He gave me the second. And third, I put it down money, 20%. And then.
Wow. So, and then the third deal was
the third property, because when I got it in 86, so I pay off the first property completely. I got refinanced the first property and bought 2 more properties, Amur Garden and Town West, 86.
Right.
And then used those money, the down money, for 2 new properties.
Now, that's when your lawyer also got into the business.
Yeah, the lawyer got interested when
He saw what you were
that I
doing.
had more money than Mr. Sharma. So he said, yes, I want to go in real estate too.
So that deal, the third deal, you was like a package deal. He bought some, you bought some, or is that?
Yes, it was 86 deal, was package deal. There was a 3 complex, and he bought 1 and I bought 2.
Right.
So that's the reason.
And
we
to this
made
day,
that.
he's still in the apartments buying now.
Yeah,
now.
he's calling me now.
Really?
Or yeah, when he came to know that we made a Harrisburg deal, I didn't know that. He said, Mr. Sharma, he wanted to see me.
Okay.
So somebody told him.
You
that.
think he wants to sell anything, maybe?
No. He wants to buy from Parkland from me.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so he got in the game and he hasn't left the game. He's been building his portfolio ever since 1986 then. So
But he was not
you-
aggressive. That was the main thing. One time when we got the financing, that was a good thing happened. I came to know the bank gave me loan about 9%, and he got 9.5% interest. Same bank,
Right.
same term.
But you had experience, that's why.
And
maybe.
that guy, yes, he went to the bank. Why Sharma got a lower rate than me? He said, because you don't have experience, he has experience. So that means that has a value for the experience. of
Right.
that.
The banks really value that. The lenders value the experience. So then from there, you then moved to another city, another area.
Yes,
These first three deals were right in your area, in your background. But then you went to a whole different city, Allentown.
Yeah, I started looking in the newspaper and I saw the ad in the same way. In Allentown, the guy owned 800 apartments and he wants to sell all because he was
Underwater.
under really heavy loan. Bank wants to force him to sell it.
Right.
And I went to look at the property. I like the property, but there are 20% vacant. And we made the deal, and we put up the offer, and he accepted the offer.
But it wasn't on all 800. You wanted to buy all 800, but
I
what
like to
happened?
buy all, but I didn't have the money.
Right.
So I came home and I calculated. I said, no, we're going to start with the 2 properties first.
Okay.
So I got 2 properties,
Hillside
and Park Run.
Right. And what year was that?
92. And then we bought 93 from the same owner again.
Another 90.
Square. So the bank had a good relation with us, and that's why we got a loan on that. And from there onward, there was a starting point. Then 97, we got 2 properties, Old Forge and Hamilton Square East. 98, we bought Arbor Village. 99, Fountain Terrace. Then 2001, King Street.
Mm-hmm.
2002, Trout Run. 2004, St. Lawrence. Oakwood. 2005, we bought Brandywine.
And now Brandywine at that time was the biggest deal you had done as far as units. Brandywine was how many? It was called Addison originally.
See, actually, Brandywine they have 1,100 units. The owner wants to sell all for $55 million deal.
Okay.
And we don't have money. We cannot go in that deal. So the most of the people was interested in Bethlehem properties. They were in a better shape than Brandywine. So they bought about 650,000 units, and I bought 449. And Brandywine was special because it has a 30% vacant. It was very difficult to get a loan.
How did you get a loan then? If it's like 30, such a high vacancy, the property's been,
Very
not good reputation.
question. I showed to the bank my next door property, Fountain Terrace, is 95% occupied.
Right.
And I put this in escrow, and it's if you can give me the loan.
So how much do you have to put in escrow?
for whole 15 years now.
Oh, okay.
The whole
Oh, you put
complex.
Fountain Terrace you included it in escrow or something?
Yeah, Fountain Terrace was paid in full.
Right.
So I put the money, then escrow means loan on the Fountain Terrace and Brandywine together.
Oh, okay. So blanket.
Yes.
Blanket mortgage.
Blanket mortgage.
Okay.
And that helps. And then put a $5 million to improve the property. And bank was very happy. So you got the... No.
You put $5 million in escrow to improve the property, or
No.
What do you mean? Or you made a commitment?
Capital improvement on
Yeah, you made a commitment
Yes.
that we would do that.
Right.
Okay, because you didn't have
No.
after buying at that time.
No. So that we helped a lot. And from there we learn a lot. When you can handle a 450 unit complex, that bring us all the complex around the neighborhood improve, and that improve our portfolio.
Right. Then what happened after Brandywine? 2005 year Brandywine.
Yeah, then we bought a Hamilton Tower in same year,
Right.
in 2005. 2007, we bought Lancaster. And then we bought 2008, Winwood Green.
Mm-hmm.
2009, we bought a Berkshire Village.
Yeah.
And then we bought a 2010 Wexford. 2011, we bought a Presidential in Harrisburg. And 2010, we bought another one, 2 complexes, Ambassador and Pinewood in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And 2012, we bought a Willow. And after that, I start slowing down. And then I said, let my sons should buy the properties. So 13, 14, after that, 5 years, I didn't buy any property on my name. Only the property came, very good property, in 2019. 5 property package deal, which my big son wants to buy, and I try to help him. So I, put my name on it.
I think it was the other way around. You wanted to buy. But you have a great memory. You can remember each year, each
yes,
property, everything to this day. That's amazing. That's amazing. Just off the top of your head, you don't have a list in front of you, nothing. You know each year, and you know how much you paid for each property.
Yes, I have another good memory for that.
So now I'm gonna give you a deal.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a deal. Now, this is a deal that's on the market now. It's really a part of a 1,000-unit deal, and this is just one of the properties in something. They have more than 1,000 units that they can sell. They're selling a portfolio, and just look at this. This is just the kind of the broker's advertisement on the deal, and this is just one unit that's about 248 units. One property that's 248 units.
Right.
How do you look at the numbers? What do you do? What goes through your mind when you look at the numbers? How do you analyze the deal? Because that's really what a lot of people want to know.
The first thing I like to know, this property, how many 1-bedroom, how many 2-bedroom, how about 3-bedroom. I look at this one here. This is the analysis I got this. 248 unit total, 1-bedroom 120, 2-bedroom is 104, and 3-bedroom 24. Occupancy is 228, and they're almost 92% occupancy. The gross from this is called trail. It's a lot of projection in this.
Yeah, so you don't look at any of the projected stuff.
I don't
only
look at
projection.
Projection, everybody has their own way of doing the job.
Exactly.
I look my number, so I leave the actual rent roll. They don't have the provided then.
Right.
Actual expense and this one, they don't, this is all they give, no little projected.
The actual is around 207,000 per month. I looked at the rent roll.
But what are they showing here? NOI is 1.375. Expense is this, the gross is this. And then I like to know, first thing I had to look the property, location I had to see it. I had to see the age of the property. I had to look at the utilities, who pays the utilities. And I need the rental market over there. So this is So in this, without looking into the property, without looking the rent roll, actually, I cannot price this property, but I feel what he's asking, you have any idea?
No.
Oh, okay.
They probably nowadays people don't have an asking price. They bid the price. You know, that's
They
the
are
other thing.
looking. What is the
They go bid it
buyer
up.
going to pay for that?
They know they can bid. They can get the best price.
Yeah, they know they can get the best price.
But just say, if you were to analyze, just say, this is not even in your market. But if this was in your market, what would you do? What would you look at?
If I look at it, this one, the actual number, I'd be happy to look at it. Give them about $15 million deal. No, if it's really without if it's a good location, I like it.
So how do you come up with the $15 million? Just by looking at the 1.3 million NOI?
Yeah, but see the 10% cap, 10 cap
right.
is 13 million, 13.75.
Right.
So with the 8 cap, you can say this one about $16 million deal. That's why it came up the number.
So that's like a safe area, even though nowadays nobody's getting like a 8 cap, 10 cap.
Yeah, they're looking for 6, 7, depend upon. That's why I say the property
you have to look at
need
the other
a lot
factors.
of works on this now.
Right.
But I never bought any property in less than 6 cap. We never pay anything.
Which property did you make a 6 cap?
If you look at for the last, we've seen so many property we bought, for about 5 years. Even this property which we bought right now, Harrisburg properties, this is a 6 cap. If you right now, we have a, we pay 7 times gross, multiplier.
So the gross multiplier 7 times
the gross of this property. The other multiplier they use, that's actually, what is the gross only Harrisburg property? You have any idea?
625.
625?
Right. So it's 25,000
multiplied by 12. This you can see what you got it.
Oh, okay. 625 times 12 is 7.5 million.
7.5. Multiply by 7, what do you got? 52?
Yeah, you're right.
Right. But this is just like you have some vacancy factor, you can say 5% and all. So actually your gross is 7 million or more than 7 million. So that's why 7 times 7, we put about 7, 8, 7. I feel that this is right price. We got a $15 million.
Yeah, we got underneath.
Yeah.
If you'd offered that, what I said, you would have had 7.
I
exact.
know, but sometimes you have to pay extra to buy the deal.
To get the deal, especially nowadays.
Especially nowadays, when the market is very hot. Yeah.
So now, do you think we're at the top of the market? The market is at the top, as far as the height of what the prices and the cycle. The cycle.
Yeah, because the economists, they are forecasting the economy going to change. We don't know if that's true or not, but it just look like a market reached to the saturation point.
Right. All the cranes, all the building, yeah.
I can be wrong.
You start creating hyper supply, and then from hyper supply, it's gonna dip down.
Yeah, right now the demand for the apartment is very high, but only thing is a lot of construction is going on. We can see with the inventory going to come back in the 2 years, and that will be our competition. So naturally, the demand of the apartment going to be easing.
But also, the new products, what they're building is A-class properties. Our properties are more C-class properties, so that's not really,
Yeah, but
that's
still,
a different market.
The people, the 10% of our customer goes to the A-class property too.
Really?
Just like if we have an example, Binwood, when we bought the new complex, more than 20% people, 25% move from the Binwood to there.
To Liberty Park?
So that always happen.
Right.
So that's the reason But it helps us too, because this means we jump our rates are high, so
Yeah.
it will help us, one way.
So, do you think where do you see happening to the people who are buying now? They're buying like $100,000 a unit.
Yeah, it all depends on the location. If some people are buying $100,000 in a Coastville, they are not going to be happy. But if it's somebody in the city, the rents are good, they have a more A-class people, they're tenant,
They have greater
they
population.
can be okay. They still be
population
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a couple questions from Canada,
Yeah.
and let me pull these questions up real quick. So, if you get an opportunity to start all over with the knowledge you have right now, what would you have done differently?
This is a very good question, which is I was always thinking, if I had to do this and start today, first thing, I will start other people money syndication, just like a lot of companies are doing it. Use your money, maybe 50%, and 50% borrow from other people, the syndication. Property will be only on your name. You are the one who
You are the
going to
GP.
really do that.
Yeah.
These people come and go. So this is the reason you are just trying to use them for down money to make they get it.
And that's how you can grow a lot faster and
You can
scale
go faster. You can, it's just like this company, what is their name? King of Prussia company. Morgan. They started in 86, if you look at it, 1986. And they've grown so much. So I see this is the way they've grown up, because they use the other
I think they
people.
started 84 and they're like 17 states, 75,000 units.
Because that's the reason they're using those kind of things, and they are much better position.
Right.
But we use only our people money, not other people money, and that's why we go very slow.
Right.
And if we have to go today, yes, you have to use the other.
But even in terms of you have grown tremendously from somebody buying a property for less than $500,000 today, that property is worth you can easily get $5 million for that property. And I was looking at the total valuation. If we took it, a total valuation is somewhere between $300 and $400 million on what you've grown to.
That's right.
And somebody you came from nothing. You came from a very humble background.
I'm very fortunate. I have good sons, and they're helping me, and they're taking over. So I'm so glad.
You had something in yourself to have this desire, this ambition to grow. Do you think that luck is involved with this, or is hard work? That's the other question from Canada.
Hard work, and yes, luck is also part of the deal. But the reason is hard work is very important, and good people like younger, like you working with us. Those kind of people are very important to grow.
And what's the hardest thing you find in the business today? What's the hardest, most challenging thing on a day-to-day basis in the business for you? Or what do you see even for your sons maybe that they deal with on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, hardest to find the loyal person.
Right.
It's very hard
Good
nowadays. People. Honest and hard workers, and that is one thing. Which is how to manage the people. This is our business, and our apartment business is not managing the apartment. Actually, we are managing the people.
Right.
How you know that?
I agree.
And this is very important, how to do that. This is, some people have very charisma how to handle these people.
Right.
There's a lot of people I've seen in my life. They are very good workers, but they cannot do supervision, to the other people.
Right. Some people are born like good workers, but then when you put them in a leadership role or supervisory role, they don't have those qualities sometimes.
That become problem for them.
Right. Right. So this Harrisburg deal that we closed about 6-7 months ago, where would you like to see that go? Like, what's the future projection you have for that deal? That's the biggest deal, $50 million deal, and.
Because I feel that, just like from 900 units, you've grown up in almost less than 4 years. You started first deal 16, right? Scottsdale. When you bought the first deal, Scottsdale.
Yeah, in Harrisburg, Scottsdale,
16.
4 years ago,
Yeah.
so it's 16.
So you got 4 years, you make this 900 units. Next, in 4 years, you can easily make 900 units if you really manage those property well. Harrisburg is still very growing area.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of construction going on highways and all the buildings, a lot of warehouse coming there.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest, they say it's the fastest growing, or the county next to it is the fastest growing county in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, that's correct. And I feel that there is a growth for us.
But as far as for the apartments themselves, in the 800 units or 900 units there, what would you like to see happen in those 5 properties, 6 properties?
In 10 years, this property will go at least, my projection is minimum 75 to 80 million dollars this property will worth. So you will give you double almost. You can easily pull some money out and then you can buy those another 900 units. That's the way we should do, because I used to clean my house all the time, every 3-4 years, use all the money, buy the new deals, and then 4 years, slow down, fix the property,
right,
and then go to the other. So this is the way you follow.
So we're gonna wrap it up. But you would like to see 2 to 3 years. You think this property can stabilize strong, and then maybe take on another big project?
I feel confident because it was neglected property, it was sick property, and you can easily manage good, and you can bring a good pupil, good reputation, and it will help you a lot in the future.
So last question, what do you think has been your key to success? Your key to success, what do you think has been?
I have best my wife. That's my first thing, the lesson.
Okay.
Without her, I cannot go anywhere. And I feel a lot of family support I got, and I am a very fortunate. I have a good people working with me. They also, these are the things,
Now you give the credit to your wife and the people around you too, but there's been times I know where your wife, me, and like when we were younger, we say, why you keep growing? Why you keep buying more? Why you keep buying more? You didn't listen to us. You did it anyway. Luckily, you didn't listen to us. You were a lot smarter. But even that, you had your own inner charisma, your own inner drive. Where do you think that comes from?
That comes from me because I've seen in this business, I can never go, without this, is a lot of return on the investment. First thing, this investment is a necessity. 40% people cannot afford the house. They have to live in apartments. It's always necessity. And that's the reason this business is going to grow, is not going to go down. Second reason is I feel that even our grandchildren, they go to college, they get a good education, they can see, but they have backup plan if they want to do it extra. This is the best, good tax shelter, and it will make them good equity for them too in the future. Mm-hmm. So they will be more stable money-wise, financially, so they don't be stronger. That's why my point was, why I was keep on going,
Mm-hmm. So I know I said that was the last question, but I have one last question. Last question. For somebody starting out fresh, starting out new, a lot of new people want to get into business. What's your advice for somebody starting new, brand new? Somebody's got a good stable job, good income on the side. They want to start something on the side, or they just want to get in real estate. What is your advice?
My best advice is they should not buy small properties. They should get a group of people. Mm-hmm. They raise the money, try to buy a small complex, maybe 40, 50 units. And then from there they get experience, and then they're going to go one by one, which I've seen a lot of people buying their houses, and they become negative cash flow sometimes, and they have more problems, they get fed up.
Right.
So I feel that just like buying a house is too difficult, because they are not, it's too make the handsome money.
Right.
So I see only multi-housing will be the best opportunity for them if they want to do it.
Okay, so to get a junior venture, get a JV, get a
Yes.
joint venture.
They should join venture, right?
Yes.
That's the best one.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. You did a great job.
Okay. Thank you again, Kobe. I love you very much. I like that now. I love you too.